Hi everyone, my name is Laura and welcome to my channel. Thank you to all my new subscribers that have appeared the last couple of days. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And to everyone who has stuck around with me for a while, thank you too. It makes a lot to me that you guys want to see what I'm talking about. I should say rambling, probably. That's more accurate, but that's fine, no matter. Okay, so for today's Friday reads, I have only one book that I hauled in, which is a good thing for a change, and that's Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. I'm so glad that this popped up for a choice for a Book of the Month Club because I was going to buy this anyways. So this just saved me having to go get it on my own. So thanks very much. Looking forward to reading this. This is, for those of you who don't know, it's set in Mexico City, I believe. Sorry, no, Mexican countryside, I apologize. In the 1950s, and a young girl goes out to sort of help her newlywed cousin out in the country. And when she gets out there, she finds a whole bunch of stuff. So it's nothing is apparently what it seems. This sounds really fascinating, so very glad to have this on my shelves. And now for the books that I read this week. So I finished, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 books this week. 2 of them are for the BookTube prize, so I can't talk about them. And I have 1 DNF, which I'll get out of the way right away. That is The Woods by James Tynion IV and Michael, I think it's Dialynas. So I rated this one on Goodreads. I gave it 1 star because I have checked this out before and tried reading it before and didn't like it. And I didn't remember until I was reading it, and then I thought, oh yeah, that's right, I didn't like this one. So I'm counting it as read but DNF'd. So this is set in the suburbs of Milwaukee, which is where I live, and there's a preparatory school that suddenly gets transported to a new planet in the solar system. So it sounds sort of interesting and not much is said around here, so I thought this should be great. And I really rapidly didn't give a crap about anyone or anything. So the students all kind of blur together. There are 7 or 8 of them that are sort of your main characters. Then there are some teachers, and that's kind of it. Everyone gets a little sentence or 2 as you're introduced to them, and then they move on to the next 1 or 2 or 3 people. You know, it's just sort of blah. And by page 3 or 4, all of a sudden, there's this huge flash of light, and it's just fact, apparently, because no one disputes it, no one says anything, that, oh, clearly they must have been beamed to a different planet. Like, why would that be your first go-to, unless things were so different? I mean, we can have pink night skies, you know, sometimes that happens. It was so quick and so bizarre. You were supposed to care about these people that you didn't really even know in the first place, know who was who. And it seems to be a survivalist theme, which I'm not into survivalist books. I'm really not. So the art style is fine. It's like a lot of other stuff out there. And this has great blurbs on the back by Scott Snyder, Comic Vine and stuff. But Jeff Lemire really likes the series too. And the artwork reminds me a lot of Jeff Lemire. Is it Lemire? L-E-M-I-R-E? I think it's Lemire. And I don't really care for his style of work. So it's a lot like that. I just, why am I supposed to care about these people on this random planet when I don't know who anybody is? And I just, it was not for me, in short. So very happy to return this to the library and not check it out again in future, hopefully. So I have 1 book of poetry, and then everything else is graphic novels. So first book of poetry I finished is only, what am I talking about, is Don't Call Us Dead by Danez Smith. And I really, really enjoyed this. It is bloody and deals with sex, quite frankly, and being black in America, being in a black body. Yeah, but none of that bothered me. It was really powerful and really lovely. Like any poetry collection, a few didn't hit really well, but for the most part, they really affected me, and I had to stop and reread a couple of them over again. I really, really enjoyed this, and I look forward to getting Homie, which is his newest collection. I think number 2 on the holds list, so hopefully that'll be coming up shortly. I really like what he did with a lot of the form in here, and I forget the actual words because it's been ages since I studied poetry in any kind of way, but like there are some that are just like this, short little things. And then one of my favorite poems was Dear White America, and that is just one big block of text. And then another one I really enjoyed. Oh, the N-word is in here a lot too, in case you don't like that. Here we go. It's called Elegy with Pixels and... No, that's not that one. No, there's, yeah, sex and swearing and things in here. It's Litany with Blood all over. That's what it is. The one I really liked. So it starts out like this. And it's on this side of the page, by the way. And then it goes into this. And I just thought it was incredibly powerful. I mean, I just really enjoyed it. Again, if you don't like trying to talk about sex and blood and murdering and things, and it's not all it's about, but that's the vehicle he uses to talk to you, I would say give this a pass. But if that sounds interesting to you, it doesn't bother you, I would say really pick this up. I really enjoyed it. And oh, Chris Abani really liked Danez Smith's work, and I really enjoyed Chris Abani's work too, both his poetry and his shorter fiction. I've yet to read his one novel that I own, but yeah, I really enjoyed Chris Abani's work too. So, okay, back to graphic novel things. So I'm going to talk about the last 4 I have here. Next up is An Embarrassment of Witches. This is by Sophie Goldstein and Jenn Jordan. So it's coming of age, post-college, look at a group of friends who are witches. Magic is just around. It's not... it's more practical magic, huh? But people have their familiars, and plants go awry in labs. I really liked the art style and appreciate the colors. The whole palette is teal, yellow, black, turquoise, purple. Really liked it. Yeah. It was fine. It was good. You know, 3 stars, middle of the road, nothing outstanding, nothing terrible, just sort of your average post-college, what am I doing with my life, internships, new jobs, figuring things out kind of a thing. So good, interesting. I wouldn't run out to the store to buy it, but if you found it, I would say certainly give it a read through. Certainly, let's try that again. But yeah, enjoyable. And then these next 2, I just love these. They're all over BookTube these days, rightfully so. It's My Brother's Husband by Gengoroh Tagame, 1 and 2. Here's 2. I mean, such a good story, sweet and delightful and eye-opening. So I forget everyone's names. It's been more than 5 minutes since I read this book. I just remember Mike from Canada, who was married to his brother who passed away. So in Japan, and if I'm incorrect here, please correct me, cousin, correct me. It's not really okay to be out. I don't know if that's still true or not, but it's not okay to be out or be gay, and for men or women. But when his brother leaves and moves to Canada and meets and marries Mike, they didn't really talk much. Once his brother came out to him, they're identical twins, they didn't really talk much. And now that the twin has passed, Mike's husband passed away, Mike comes to visit the family and get to know them. They planned to go together at one point, but it didn't happen. So Mike comes to stay with them for a few weeks and get to know his brother and get to know his little niece. And, you know, kids don't care about any kind of labels that people put on stuff. They're not like adults. And it helps between the two volumes, once everyone gets to know each other better. I mean, some prejudices are let go of, and some automatic ways of thinking get rerouted, and they're more open and accepting, and it was just really delightful. And Mike is a hunk, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't have a hard time reading Mike's scenes, especially when he was in the shower. I was fine with it. You don't really see anything, but you know, like, he's ripped. That's fine. That was a bonus surprise for me. I'm not showing you Mike in the shower. But, you know, traditional manga, I'm never sure how to pronounce that. I've heard it both ways. But it's really just so sweet, so cute. I would love to own a copy of this little series. Just really, really nice. And, you know, they get to know, everyone just gets to know each other better, and they go on a little trip together and cook together, and it's just, I loved these. I loved them. 4.5 stars each, rounded up to 5. They're just great. And the last book I've read this last week is a big one, The Golden Age, Volume 1. This is by Roxanne Moreil and Cyril Pedrosa. I really, really liked this. This is pretty new. I think this just came out in March or something. The storyline, I should do that while I'm holding this up, not show you the art first. So the storyline is that there's a young lady who's a princess, and she must be in her early 20s or something. Her father passes away, and she assumes that she will be next in line for the throne. So as she's mourning his death and talking to some of the lords of the land and trying to figure out where everyone stands, and she wants to help relieve the peasants from some of the taxes and not go to war so much, and how do we make peace with people. You know, she's trying to be smart about it and be an adult about it and handle things. And then her younger brother, who looks to be 8 or 9 or 10, storms in with all these people and says, no, I'm in charge. You need to get out. You're exiled from the palace. So she and 2 of her buddies, I guess, one was a knight and one is some kind of nobleman. I'm not exactly sure, but they grew up together, the girl and this nobleman. So the 3 of them escape the castle on horses. They're trying to get to her father's last ally, which is way across a whole bunch of lands. So that's their story. There she is on her horse as they're riding through the forest. So there is this storyline that you're following. It's mostly you're following her. And then you do see a little bit of this young kid, her younger brother, who is in charge. And really then her mother is in charge. So they're doing things, and there's some nasty people that are manipulating this kid, of course, because he's a kid. He doesn't know anything. And the princess here gets taken in by a group of women who built this community in the middle of nowhere in the forest that's all equal, and everyone learns to fight, everyone learns to cook, blah, blah. So she recuperates there and then leaves. And throughout the story, there's a reference to the Golden Age, which is a book that is it's a mythological book. It never really existed, but really it did exist. So you find that out a little bit more, and some of the tracts, I guess, for lack of a better term, from this Golden Age book show up and start getting passed around again, and there is a large revolt against this new child king, and people are just getting slaughtered all over the place. So the princess finds out about this secret stash of jewels from her father's cohort, the last alliance he had. So she's trying to get over to see if she can get through the cities and through the towns with her friends, everyone stay alive, and get to this hidden stash of whatever is supposed to be there. But things don't go as planned. There's a lot in here. I mean, it really is. And I'm not going to spoil anything. It ends on a cliffhanger a little bit. Volume 2 is coming. Thank goodness. Come on, first, second. Let's get that one going right away. So I really enjoyed this. This was not what I thought it was going to be. And I really liked the art. I'm going to flip open to random pages because I can't see anything. So I like all the palettes that are chosen for each individual part. And I really appreciated how detailed all the drawings are. And when there is a larger scene, like when they're on horse together and they're riding through the forest. See if I can find one here quickly. And they're talking to each other. You see, here it is, this 2-page spread. And they start up here talking to each other, but you see them, this is still them throughout the whole thing. So you see the progress they make. You see what they're talking about the whole way. So you can, it's like, I don't know, I really enjoyed that part of it. I liked all of it, really, 4 stars, 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this. And I haven't heard anyone else talk about this. I know it's really new, and with libraries not being open mostly, that it's hard to get a hold of. And I personally would not buy a $25 or $30 big hardcover, $30 hardcover graphic novel with knowing nothing about it. But it has a very Disney's Sword in the Stone, Disney Sleeping Beauty kind of art style. The palette, the story seems sort of like those two a little bit. So it's sort of familiar and comforting in a way, but it's its own story, certainly. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Don't know what else to say. It's good. So that's it for me. I am going to be participating in the Reading Rush, which starts Sunday, is it? The 20th? Sunday or Monday? It's got to be Sunday. I'll be doing that, and I have my stack of books right here next to me, so I'll be working on that. Also finishing up the last couple of BookTube prize books that need to get read before the end of the month. And trying to whittle my library books down, honestly. I keep making progress and getting things done, and then a hold comes through that has been sitting there for months, you know, and then I go, okay, well, I should get this one and this one and this one too when I'm there, because I'm already going to pick up a hold. So that's why I have whatever. There are far worse problems to have, I realize, than too many library books, but whatever. Anyways, I hope you're all doing well. I hope everyone's staying healthy. Okay, so for those of you who are new or maybe never watched to the end, I don't know, when quarantine was hitting and everyone was stressed, I was finding a work music for me, but like some kind of new age massage music I would listen to at work, and I would leave a link to that underneath. So if anyone wanted to watch 5 or 10 minutes and listen to some calming music, they could. And I stopped doing it a few weeks ago just because it felt like, I don't know, is anyone even doing this? But what I'm going to start doing is either that, depending on the week, how I feel that day, or I'm going to link to a song that has been stuck in my head for this last week. So this week I have 2. I'm going to, hopefully, if I can find these 2, I'm just going to hope, I'm going to find them. They'll be on YouTube. I'm going to link to King Kunta, but by Kendrick Lamar. That song, I really love the bass line so much. It's such a funky bass line. It gets stuck in my head. Hopefully there is a clean version. Otherwise, it is chock full of swearing and N-words and things. Not about women or like bad, but like just that. That's just how it is. So I will link to the clean version. But yeah, I can actually hear it in my head right now. I just love that song. So I'm going to link to that, and I'm going to link to Sheena Easton, You Should Have Been With Me. I didn't really remember that song. I couldn't have pulled it out of my brain off the top of my head, but I just heard it randomly on the radio, and I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, it just was like some little part of my childhood just sort of came back to me. So I'm going to link to that too. So 2 very different songs, but that's very much who I am as a person. So, okay, I'm going to stop talking. I hope you're all doing well again and reading something wonderful. And hopefully I will see you all in the Reading Rush next week. And I'm going to get back to commenting and watching over the weekend, since I am now free and not working or doing anything. No obligations except to drink coffee and read and catch up. So yeah. All right, I will see you guys very soon. Bye.